Hello, I'm Sally Pinhey, your botanical art tutor for this video workshop on depicting plant hairs. There are many different types that serve different purposes for the plant, so have a good look at them under magnification before you start.
Each of these hair types will give the plant a different overall appearance and needs a different approach. Here are 3 ways. Stachys fir runs in rivulets and can be shown with a shade on the surface of the leaf. Cleavers have hooks which could be shown with a single line or a double line in pencil or ink, and comfrey has bristly white hairs which can be shown on leaf edges. This Bergenia ciliata shows white hairs on an overlap of leaves. Our model for today is a stinging nettle, where we will show the hairs on an overlap. The nettle colour for the green is made with ultramarine, cadmium and raw sienna, which should make a good quantity for the first washes.
These are my quick sketches for a study of hairs on a stinging nettle. And what I've done here with my HB pencil is to leave a white rim around the edge where the hairs will show against the dark green. This one shows that slightly better, but it's a less satisfactory composition, so I won't use that. This one shows the back of the leaf and where the hairs will come out of the vein and show against the dark of the leaf back. It's a good illustration of the hair, but it won't make a study in itself. It might make a good side study. A white rim serves several purposes. Even if you're not doing hairs, sometimes it separates out the areas for you and stops the paint running together where you don't want it. Inside the white line, or inside your pencil line, it will make your pencil lines easier to rub out at the very end. Building up the paler tone on the underside where the leaves curl. It will be lighter as the underside of the leaf is lighter, and we'll build up the tone round the veins on the top side surface of the leaf as we go, in the way of the last video. You'll see that I've drawn in the veins here, and I'm going to paint around them so that the veins show up pale, as they do. And then, when you have done the main body of the leaf, come back into your white area with your very finest brush. This is 7 noughts, and it needs to be as fine as you can possibly get it, because it still won't be as fine as the actual hairs. And you need a fairly dry paint for this. You don't want anything flooding anywhere. And then you have to also be sure that they're all the same length. In this particular plant, they are all the same length. So we can blunt those off and take the green back into the body colour of the leaf. And come back again with a slightly bigger brush. This one is 4 noughts. It's very laborious, but in fact there is no quicker way of doing this satisfactorily. because a scrub with the brush really doesn't cut it. This particular specimen has got a lovely streak of red on the upper side of each leaf stalk, which is called a petiole. So I want to get that in because that will give it a lot of definition, and also if you put it on here it'll show the structure of the stem because it goes on in ribs, and that in its turn will make a very nice background for some more hairs, and we'll look at another way of doing that in a minute. If you have an opportunity to show hairiness on some other part of your illustration, it may be sufficient on parts of the stem just to give an impression of that. And hair seen with a naked eye, as not individual, will just have, instead of a crisp edge, a fuzzy edge. That shouldn't be too difficult to achieve. So you could run it in, have a narrow area just outside the edge of your stem, which is indistinct. And then, to make it perfectly clear that that's what it is, you could add a little bit of white where it will show up against the red of the stem. This could perfectly well be a hempagrimony stem, which is like this. White hairs on a red stem can sometimes be shown with gouache and a very fine brush. Be careful not to make it too blotchy.
This is a borage leaf with the hairs doubled in size in the circle, and that shows the type of hair that it is. And if it were labelled with a scale bar, it would be 1/2 centimetre, if the rest of it was scaled life size for 1 centimetre. This is the nettle with a similar enlargement there, but that is a very fine pencil and doesn't show very well. The next one is the Geranium Madarense, which has the most wonderful glandular hairs which secrete a nectar which glisten in the sunlight. This is a spectacular plant. If plants fascinate you and you would like to start this kind of illustration, consider doing the Introduction to Botanical Drawing run by the Horticultural Correspondence College. Regular monthly workshops are also held at Kingston Morwood College in Dorchester. Thank you for watching.